Of your total asset base, how much of that is credit and how much of that is other businesses?
If we look at our portfolio, you can see that from total assets of the bank, around 37%, 38% is the loan portfolio. The rest, around 10%, it is for our liquidity purpose. And 50%, more than 50%, it is our investment in the interbank market, in the bonds market, including the T-bills. And it makes the bank, ACB, very liquid bank.
So what percentage of your income is fees?
The fees income is around 28% of the 28%, and around 20% it is from the interbank trading.
How did it turn out that the actual lending business is not that large a percentage of your total assets? I mean, a bank in another country might be 80% or 90% maybe, because that's the core business of a commercial bank, whereas yours is about half, basically.
Because of, I think we are the most conservative in lending bank in Vietnam.
Is that because you have to be conservative in Vietnam?
It's our philosophy, concept of our business from beginning, because we realize that in Vietnam as a growing market, high potential but very risky, and the one of the most risk business, the highest risk business, I think, is the credit. Because of that, we are very selective and conservative in choosing the customers in lending.
How do you view the growth of credit in Vietnam? Do you think that with certain infrastructure in place, that credit can become an even more important driver of the economy? Because Vietnam today really is a very cash-based, liabilities-based business or economy.
Vietnamese GDP growth based on three pillars. The first is natural resources. The third one is the cheap labor cost, and the third one is capital. Capital market in Vietnam is not developed because the capital mostly based on the money market. I mean, from the commercial banks. Because of that, today, in parallel with the high growth of GDP of Vietnam, it of course could be the high growth of GDP and high growth of the credit activities of the banking sector. Because of that, our expectation is in the next 3-5 years, the credit growth in the banking sector in Vietnam is still very high, from 25 to 30% every year. And I think it is the chance for the banking sector to grow. Look at Vietnamese economy structure, I think it could be very close to the Chinese economic sector.
You think so? With inflation running so high, that you think that the growth can be similar to China?
Today, the Vietnamese GDP growth not so high as in China, with 2 digits. In Vietnam, it just in this year we expect 6.57%. In the next few years, our expectation is around 8%. But look at the structure of economy. I think that economic structure and together with the political structure, Vietnam and China are very the same. And because of that, I think, and look at in China today, the commercial loan to GDP is around 165%. In Vietnam, it's just 100%. Because of that, I think the trend of increasing, and this ratio increased very fast every year.
Yes, it's still in the process of increasing.
Yes, it's still in the process of that.
Were you affected during the global economic crisis?
Of course, we are not directly impacted because of in our portfolio there wasn't the toxic so-called assets. But we indirectly impacted by this crisis because of the Vietnamese economy. It is export-driven economy. And when our traditional markets such as Europe and US is affected, the consumption power is lower, and because of that, it will impact on our customers.
What is your greatest fear in running your business? What is the fact that you are most afraid of, that if it changes, it can affect your business badly?
A lot of things we can manage. We are facing, of course, in banking sector, we are facing with a lot of risks. Credit risk, operational risk, market risk. A lot of risks we can manage. But few risks, I think, we not easy to manage. First, if it is kind of natural disasters. And second part is the world financial crisis. world financial crisis, it of course opportunity, but it's a big threat to the bank. And if you can navigate well in this situation, we can get a lot of benefits.
Right.
But if not, you can lose.
Why has Vietnam been slower than China in evolving, when actually the promise of Vietnam as a country, the fact that it's got a very high percentage of young people, has always been there, and it's an advantage that Vietnam could have easily taken, many years ago.
I think the main issues of Vietnam today, in comparison with China, it is our competitiveness in the international market of the all companies, of the all products.
Right. So you are the Vietnam representation of the international bank in Vietnam, from Vietnam,
Yes.
interacting with other banks. So you're the Maybank or the CIMB of Malaysia, or you are the Bangkok Bank or Siam Commercial Bank of Thailand. You're the bank that is like a unofficial flag bearer for Vietnam internationally.
We try, because of sometimes our government want to show ACB as an example of a success of a private companies can become in Vietnam. But frankly to say, we are seeing our strengths, but we are seeing our weaknesses. And today, problems is how to grow faster and to restructure ACB become a really strong and competitive bank in the international market. In local market, it's okay. It's good today.
Have you been selling bonds lately?
Yes, we sell a bond in the local market. We have a plan to issue international bond, but it was in the beginning of 2008, and when the crisis was, we stopped our program. But I think we will renew this campaign maybe in this year or next year.
What percentage of your capital is fixed income?
We in the structure of our capital mostly is Tier 1 capital. Just 3 years ago, we issued convertible bond. It's a kind of Tier 2 capital, but all the bonds were converted in the shares already. Because of that, today in our structure, just Tier 1 capital.
What is the prospect for Vietnam in 2010, given that there seemed to be a bit more devaluation taking place of the dong, and the central bank seems to be pulling back on liquidity in the marketplace? What is the prospect for this year?
I think the Vietnamese economy and Vietnam in 2010, especially financial sector, will face with very different issues, mostly related to the contradictions of the policy. When we are, the government set 3 main priorities. First is how to lower the inflation. Second is how to speed up the growth. And the third one is to build and to keep the market be stable. I think the contradiction between how to push up the growth and how to lower the inflation, it will be the main issues in the Vietnamese market. The market will be still volatile a lot based on this situation. But I think in the end of the day, we will come over. And our expectation is in this year, the GDP growth will be higher than expected. I mean, around 7%. When the inflation, our expectation will be, of course, a little bit higher than beginning of the year, but still lower than 2 digits. It means 8-9%.
Mr. Hai, thank you very much for giving us a glimpse of Vietnam and your bank's business in this very interesting marketplace.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.